Handrail Pool. Handrail Pool. Megan's gone the whole way without getting her shoes wet. And I'm just walking in here. Huh?
It makes sense now, it's handrails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our nights at Dales Campground.
Yep.
We were in Euroloop, so that was really good actually. It was probably one of the better ones, nice and close to the access to get down to Fern Pool and Fortescue Falls. We went down there I think twice a day to go for a swim just because we loved it so much at Fern Pool. We hiked the Dales Gorge the first day. I just did that nice and slow and it was absolutely beautiful. We did the one that went across like the riverbeds and stuff, and then again ended up at Fern Pool, went for a nice little swim and then just chilled out at the campsite. Lots of dingoes hanging around, which was actually quite exciting. We decided to drive out of the national park and stay on the sealed road just because we'd heard a few different things about the other road that connected to the park.
Yeah, there's the other set of gorges is like in a different part of the park for anyone who hasn't been there. So you can either go a corrugated road or back out onto the main road and do 110 most of the way. Though we did find out it is corrugated unavoidably on
after just before the eco retreat, which was really strange. So yeah, we went that way anyways. So we did Hancock Gorge first, which was actually really fun. You can get in without being wet if you didn't want to, and then I decided to slide down on my bum for the last bit just because it was actually easier. And then we jumped into Kermit's pool, which was freezing. And it was a bit of a big tour group there, so we actually didn't spend too much time then. We went left, and then we made our way down. To Handrail Pool, which is also really cool. Completely different, both of those two gorge walks, weren't they? Yeah,
I'd say Kermit's pool is very different. Kermit's pool is, how did I describe it? I can't remember now. Handrail Pool is more unique. I think it's got like really small chasms to walk through, which is really cool with the water rushing between your legs.
And then when you get to the final pool, it's actually much larger. No one was in there swimming though when we went. I think it was just super freezing. And like it wasn't a super hot day, so no one's like really hanging out to get into the cold water. But it was fun. It was a bit more of an adventure than the Hancock Gorge. We spent probably an hour on both trails. They're not very long, so we easily did them, and then we thought we may as well continue and do Knox Gorge, which was so impressive. Obviously much larger scale of those walls of the gorge. And at the end there was this really cute like little narrow bit. Obviously you weren't allowed to go any further.
But the swimming hole there was good.
Yeah, there was one really cool swimming hole on the corner, which is a little bit more like murky. The water wasn't flowing as much, but it was stunning. And then the final one was like a really nice clear little pool, wasn't it?
So Knox was definitely the most impressive.
I'd say it was top 3.
It was huge.
And the longer walk, wasn't it? I think it was.
It was a bit longer and way more scrambly to get up and down into the gorge.
And negotiating around it if you didn't get wet. There was a few bits that I had to cling to the rocks.
So Megan tried to not get her shoes wet the whole time.
And I did. I didn't get wet at all.
She did pretty well. But in Hancock and Weno Gorge, I just ended up walking through the water. Not much of it's more than knee deep. most of it's ankle deep.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
And then after Knox we did Joffrey, which is quite short.
It was really cool though, much better than we'd
it was
expected.
different again. I think that's the thing we found. It's just like gorge after gorge, but they're all so different. Joffrey was very short walk in the gorge, but the end of
final pool was probably the most like spectacular. Like it was like kind of like an amphitheater. It was crazy with the waterfall. Really cool. It was really nice.
So that was
and that was really close to, you can actually walk from there up to Eco Retreat if you were staying there. So I think that's their closest like swimming hole, which was really cool. And then we went back to Dales Campground for the night. And then today we ventured into Tom Price, which is actually a really beautiful town.
Yeah, it's a cool little town.
It's really cool. The tourism office or visitor centre.
Highest town in WA?
In WA, it was like 747 metres above sea level. But yeah, the ladies at the visitor centre were so nice and helpful because we were kind of contemplating what to do after Hemsley Gorge. We weren't sure if we wanted to go into Millstream or if we just wanted to keep heading up towards Port Hedland. So they kind of just let us know what roads were open, what permits we needed if we wanted to go into Millstream and things like that. But I think what I was really blown away was the ranges and the hills around Tom Price. It was absolutely so beautiful. So yeah, that was a really nice drive.
After Tom Price we went up to Hemsley Gorge, which is so popular.
Super popular. It was probably the busiest one.
Yeah, it was definitely the busiest one.
But for good reason. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. There's lots of like different areas you can swim, so we highly recommend going there.
There's a few like up the top there near the spa, I think they call it the spa. There was a few other little rock pools even higher up, and then obviously the big one, which was so nice. It was actually quite warm because the sun was on it. And then down the bottom there was another pool, and then like a bit you could go through the gorges. We swam a bit down further than anybody else, and it was so nice.
But pretty cold.
Yeah.
And then after that we did the back road around the northern part of Karijini, which goes past Whitnum. We didn't obviously go in there, and there's big signs saying don't stop.
But the scenery was outstanding.
Yeah,
along
that's probably
those Hemsley ranges.
Yeah. Looking south onto the national park and at the ranges there, it's definitely the most scenic part, I think.
Yeah,
it's
it was so beautiful. Like if you could camp along there, you'd want to.
Yeah. But unfortunately there's asbestos everywhere now.
Yeah.
So that's all right.
We found this awesome little free spot just off the road. You might be able to hear some trucks, but it's actually so peaceful. The sun's just gone down, got a little bit of a fire. And it's just us.
The best thing we found about Karijini, was that there's no flies there.
Yeah, there was no flies, no mozzies.
No wind.
The temperature was like amazing.
Yeah, so.
But the flies are back.
But yeah, really nice spot to stay. So we highly recommend it.
But yeah, now we're going to spend the night here, and then the next plan is to head up to 80 Mile Beach.
But all that will be in the next video. So. Subscribe. I got told that saying subscribe and like and all that
works.
Doesn't work.
Oh, don't do it.
So, bye.